Hi Scorpio, Scorpio Rising. Here is your horoscope for June 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. Okay, there is a lot of energy moving this month. That's because we have several planets that are going to switch signs. We have Jupiter that's finally going to leave Gemini and enter Cancer in your 9th house, which is going to help you out quite a bit. We have Saturn that just left Pisces and now entered your 6th house in the sign of Aries, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We have Venus that's going to leave Aries and go into your 7th house of relationships, and we have Mars that's going to leave Leo and go into Virgo, and I'll talk about that as well. So we start off the month with the Sun and Mercury and Jupiter all going through your 8th house of joint finances, deep transformation, anything to do with investments, insurance, taxes, all of that falls under the umbrella of the 8th house. So we start off the month where your focus is on practical matters and some sort of change that you're undergoing here in your mind or having very important conversations with others. But the energy, there's also a lot of energy in this 6th house, which has to do with your daily routine, your health matters, taking care of others. All of that stuff seems to be a high priority this month for many of you. Okay, so if you're a sun sign Scorpio or a rising sign in Scorpio, this pertains to you. It's a very general overview using Western tropical astrology, using the whole house system. Again, it's very basic because your birth chart and your birthday is going to be completely different, but this gives you a general idea of the kind of energy that's influencing you. All right, so let's get back to the chart here. So we see your ruler Pluto also in a retrograde mode, and it's in the 4th house. So this is the home life. This is the foundation. Maybe you're returning to something from the past. Maybe you're having to remodel your home. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're thinking about land. Maybe you're thinking about moving. These are all things that are going to be on the table this month. We have this energy here in the 6th house, which is going to shake things up in 2 areas. One, your health, meaning you're going to be focusing either more attention on your health and your daily routine. You're going to be shifting that energy because you got all of this Aries energy that's activating the 6th house. Now, this month, we're going to have all 3 of these planets moving out of your 8th house, going into the more optimistic 9th house. So traveling is going to be highlighted as well, and feeling more fun and wanting to explore and, just looking at the world in a different way. The 8th house is a very heavy, draining house because it's very deep and psychological, which you could handle. But when it moves into Cancer, now it's in another water sign like yours, and you might feel a lot more motivated and feel much better about the energy. So let's start off, and I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on here. So first off, on the 6th, we have Venus, which is about partnerships and relationships, entering Taurus, your opposite sign. So this is all about relationships. And so maybe somebody new's entering your life. Maybe there's a couple of new people that enter your life. Maybe there is a new business proposition. Maybe there's a new job that, there's a possibility of an advance. Whatever it is, contracts, agreements, and other people are absolutely highlighted at this point, and will be for the next 5.5 weeks as Venus makes its way through the 7th house. Now, Venus in Taurus is very simplistic, and so it likes things very simple. It likes beauty. It likes a nice meal. It likes, pleasing things, flowers, garden, looking good, feeling good, smelling good. All of that stuff falls under the umbrella of Venus in Taurus. So this new person or these new people that enter your life could have something to do with that. Could have something to do with finance. Venus in Taurus is elevated, so there's a lot of talk about finance. There's a lot of talk about contracts, agreements, and money in general, because Taurus is one of the money signs, and Scorpio is the other sign that represents money. So these two are going to elevate a lot of that discussion around financial matters, maybe planning, all of that stuff. But this is a good time for interacting and socializing for many of you, and you need to take advantage of it as the energy is in a favorable position. Now, Mercury is going to leave Gemini late on the 8th into the 9th, and there it is right now in the 9th house of higher learning and exploring and having more fun. Now, Mercury does not do that great in Cancer, but because you're a Scorpio, you are very intuitive. Mercury in Cancer could add another layer of sensitivity to your intuition. So having premonitions and wanting to travel and explore and understand things seems to come very natural to many of you when Mercury is going through Cancer. The downside is you might feel a lot more emotion than normal. And so keep that in mind for the next 3 weeks as Mercury makes its way through this 9th house. But it is about travel and exploration and asking questions. So this is going to be very important. And speaking of asking questions, Jupiter enters Cancer for the first time in 12 years. So Jupiter is going to be very favorable in this placement. Number one, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which means it works very well in that sign. Number two, Jupiter is in its natural house, the 9th house, meaning that it is amplified. The energy feels much more fortunate. There's a need to learn and explore things on a deeper level. The meaning of life. Why are we here? What is God? What is religion? You may be going down the rabbit hole even deeper and questioning all of your belief systems and everything that you've learned, you see? Now, the thing about Cancer is, like your sign, it can be very nostalgic too. So from time to time, you might find yourself drifting into the past. And then, by the way, Jupiter is going to be going through here for about a year. So you have plenty of time to kind of research and go down, into that path of the past. So this is going to be very important. But as we start off the month here with this alignment, I mean, this is going to absolutely make you feel more optimistic. The need to travel, the need to explore, the need to venture out will definitely be heightened as Jupiter starts to enter that 9th house. Now, the full moon this month is going to be in Sagittarius in your 2nd house of income and values. Now, it'll be at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, so wherever that is in your actual birth chart, that's the area you want to focus on. And so it's between the 2nd house and the 8th house. Both houses represent finances. Both houses represent values. Both houses represent other people's money and, all kinds of investments. So obviously that's the theme here. So maybe you're thinking about buying a new home. Maybe there are expenses you need to take care of. Maybe there are, things that you need to teach, or you're learning something very valuable about the decisions that you've made. Maybe you're, coming to a realization about your investments. This is all on the table, okay? And because Sagittarius will bring all this energy up. It could have something to do with where you want to go, where you want to travel to, what's your next move. These are all things that are going to be on the table under this full moon in Sagittarius. All full moons bring things to light. So this is why I'm saying this. And this happens to be the 2nd and the 8th house. Jupiter will square Saturn. Now, this is the first square in these two signs, Jupiter, and I think it'll happen 2 more times in the next year and a half or so. Jupiter is going to interact with Saturn in your 6th house. So this has to do with direction. It has to do with philosophy, meaning, health matters. This could have something to do with somebody else's health. Maybe there's a family issue. Maybe there's a sense of moving and you're not sure what direction. Maybe your job is changing or your company is changing and, you need to change locations, or maybe you're traveling for work. This is going to be elevated here as Jupiter squares Saturn. Now, Jupiter square Saturn is a little stressful, no doubt about it, but it motivates you. And so you're going to find yourself motivated to do something, even though you might resist it at first. This could be something that benefits you in the long term. So Jupiter is going to square Saturn, and a few days later it'll square Neptune, and I'll get to that in a minute. But in between that, Mars enters Virgo on the 17th, right there. So Mars in Virgo is a bit of a nervous Nelly. Mars represents motivation, but Virgo is the perfectionist. So you'll find yourself in the next 6 weeks, as Mars makes its way through the 11th, worrying more, thinking about the future more, trying to control every little bit of movement. You'll focus on health and well-being because Virgo is the sign of health and well-being. And so you're going to be amped up with a lot of motivation and a lot of energy in this area. This could have to do with groups, organizations, charities, whatever you're involved in. Could have something to do with friendships. Maybe you're helping someone that's not doing too well. You're counseling them or you're helping them physically. This is going to be highlighted with Mars in Virgo. So keep an eye on that because Mars is your co-ruler along with Pluto. Now here's that other square Jupiter square Neptune. Now this one's a little lighter, Jupiter square Neptune, because Neptune and Jupiter are kind of on the same wavelength. One is overly optimistic, the other one is kind of fantasy prone. But this could have you really changing directions too. especially having to do with work or your daily routine or health matters. So pay attention to this. Not that it's bad or detrimental, but there's an adjustment period here because Jupiter is going to be basically squaring both of these guys at almost the same time. And so this puts a lot of pressure on you to change in some way, or maybe you're helping somebody with their health or their project or their endeavors. This absolutely seems to be highlighted here for many of you. So this is going to be another one of those times where there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, and you might find yourself at a crossroads. Now, the sun enters Cancer this time of the year, June the 20th and 21st. This definitely will help out quite a bit. The sun entering Cancer in the 9th house. So it's going to elevate your thinking. It's going to elevate your need for the future. It's going to elevate your optimism. So whatever you got going on, you'll have an ability to resolve some of these issues as the sun makes its way through the 9th house. And so you need to take advantage of that. Also, the new moon in Cancer on the 25th continues to highlight the 9th house. So you're learning something new. You're discovering things at a deeper level. You're making things happen. You're feeling quite motivated. You're traveling. Maybe you're doing something with land or real estate. This is all going to be elevated here. The sun will be closely aligned to Jupiter, so making things even bigger. More emotion, more feeling, and more compassion or understanding towards a family member. This is all being elevated with this new moon. And last but not least, we got Mercury that is entering Leo in the 10th house of career. So now you're really thinking about, what can I do more about my job or my career? You're in a very creative mindset with Mercury and Leo in the 10th house. So you're taking advantage of all the opportunities that come your way to express yourself and to become more productive. So as you can see here, the energy is going to be quite high most of this month, and somehow you're going to, make things happen. Anyway, there's the general overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended horoscope in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here. And I also do the weekly astrology overview, which the members really do seem to enjoy. I teach astrology in the course, in the community. And of course, every Sunday we are on a Zoom call talking about everything, and members do send me their suggestions. They do send me charts so I could look them over real quickly. And then, we interact with what's really going on in the world. So consider joining. There's a free 7-day trial, and there's a link down below. And so you can check it out without any obligations. All right. So have a great month, and I look forward to seeing you in the community. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.